Hey, John, how are you?
Good afternoon. Doing good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Jump Seat. For those of you joining us for the first time, the Jump Seat is a weekly spotlight bringing you key thought leaders, industry experts, and next-gen insights into the fire service and other events affecting your world. So it's hosted by myself, David Durstein, and my colleague here, John Martins. We're just two jump seat firefighters, who've had many different experiences in the fire service, both as professional firefighters, as volunteer firefighters, and as industry representatives here with IDEX Fire and Safety. So welcome to this week's episode. We got another great show lined up for you here, and can't wait to introduce you to a couple new folks and some interesting stuff in the fire service. Hey, Jason DeFosse, what's up there in Canada, man? We love it. Glad you're able to join us today. And, for those of you who are following us here this week, feel free to add comments or questions as they come up throughout. We'll try to address them as they come available. So, John, what's going on in the fire service this week?
Yeah, great question. So we've had quite a bit of activity with a lot of SAM trucks hitting the street, and it's our job to share that. It's great news. It's exciting. It's a lot of work that's taken a long time to come to fruition. And so we were going to show a couple SAM trucks that here recently have hit the street. So for the first one, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm also going to, for those watching, feel free. It was actually in May of 2020, episode number 2 of the Jump Seat, which was a long time ago. Come how far we are now. We did a tour with this actually truck as it was coming into play from Fort Garry up in Canada, and it was with
Brian Nash.
Thank you, Brian Nash, VP of Sales up there. So what I've got here, I'm going to play a little snippet. This is a cool little video showing this truck hitting the street, as well as the new department that they're going to be going in service with at Parkland County. So stand by here for a quick little snippet.
Hello, Anthony. Sorry, just a little sidebar. People coming in there left and right, John. All kinds of fun stuff.
Hose charging.
So great video put together by the folks at Fort Garry. That's an awesome piece. And hey, you know what? Do me a favor really quick, John. Maybe slide back in the video, give the folks a good overview of this truck. There's an awesome shot in there that really shows how beautiful this truck is up there in Canada. I mean, look at that. The black over red with the gold accents. I think the folks at Parkland County are going to be just absolutely thrilled with that new Fort Garry truck they're taking delivery of here. Actually, it's tomorrow, believe it or not. So for those of you guys who don't know, Parkland County is outside of Edmonton, Canada, up there in Alberta. And we're glad they're actually joining the family of Sam's to hit the street. So it's a pretty awesome looking truck there, and a great opportunity.
And but wait, there's more. So hang on.
There's more.
There's more. Okay, so
not
the next
just one.
That's right. Let me get her pulled up here. So this was actually especially for me here. I had the privilege of having a Sam truck in my hometown. I'm going to go ahead and show my screen one more time. This was in December. I'm going to give a quick shout out to my buddy Silas Springer. He works with Alexis Fire Equipment. He was doing a tour with the Sam truck in December before it was even that cold. It was a great day, and he decided to stop by Bill Snyder Family Stadium here in Manhattan, Kansas. So I had to show the picture because
It's killing me.
I couldn't
Me.
not. So Silas, thank you for stopping through. And this truck is also going to be taken to the streets here pretty quick as well. Pretty exciting stuff. For those who haven't seen, this truck will be making its way here into the Forreston, Illinois area. So we are extremely excited to see this thing come up in the Midwest region. Silas, thanks again. Quick shout out to you. Beautiful truck. Pretty exciting.
For that matter, shout out to those folks at Alexis as well. They build a great truck there as well. So I know we plugged Fort Gary there already. We've plugged a little bit on the Alexis. Those folks who are building some Sam trucks, and more and more hitting the street every day, and it's pretty awesome. It really is pretty awesome.
You bet. So Dave, we talked a little about that. What's next?
You know what? I think we ought to just jump right into the jump seat, and we're going to do a little different spin today in that we're going to be visiting a fire department in Michigan. So one of the things John and I decided we'd do this year is really put a little focus on getting to know some other fire departments. And so we're really glad that we actually have Chief Kurt Nass with Hadley Township, Michigan with us. Kurt's been the fire chief up there for the last 16 years. And Kurt, we're just glad to have you on the jump seat here with us. And thanks for joining us today. How's it going in Michigan? Oh, I don't think I have your audio there.
I see him. I don't hear him.
I think the mic might be muted on your screen there, Valerie. See if that mute button is on. It worked here just a few minutes ago, folks.
We'll give him a second. It's probably on the screen there on the display, the sound icon. We'll give them a second. I know they're there. No worries, guys. Hey, it's live, right?
This is the fun part of it. So.
And Dave, real quick, you were on a structure fire a couple hours ago. Why don't you just fill us in real quick on what you did today?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll kind of drop them out for a second till they come in here, see if we can't get them reconnected. But yeah, so one of the great things about our job and being at home here from time to time is the ability to actually go out and fight fires from time to time. And so, yeah, I want to give a big shout out to my crew at Apple Creek Fire. We did a great job today jumping out and handling a kitchen fire. So right there, just before lunchtime, we got toned out on a possible structure fire. Yep.
Real quick, I was going to tell, hey, Kurt, why don't you just get out and then rejoin the link? I'll start all over, and we'll test it. So no worries, we'll get there. So we'll have them try again. No worries. All right, finish your story, Dave.
No. So we got toned out for a working structure fire. A kitchen fire is actually what it came in as. So the crew, our first in crew, did an awesome job. Really actually kept this right behind the stove, really room with contents, and actually not even that, just got into the wall behind the stove. But a really great job by the crew at Apple Creek. Thanks. A shout out to all those mutual aid companies who came in with us. So rural Ohio, the bigger challenge today, John, it's like high teens, 20s with probably 20-mile-an-hour winds. So it was brutally cold. Even more so was the fact that we laid out 600 feet of LDH. So reloading that was not fun today, but it happens from time to time.
There we go.
We got
right.
Hey! Oh, we got it back. Great. We got the audio fixed.
It's all good.
Oh, gentlemen.
Kurt, welcome to the jump seat. Thank you very much for joining us here. And, folks that are watching remote, that's what happens when you're live. Every now and then glitches happen. And we appreciate you guys bearing with us there, Kurt, as we work through those technical difficulties. But tell us about what's happening in Michigan today.
It is cold and windy. We got 35 to 40 mile an hour winds. We're going to go sub-zero with wind chill. So we're not looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully it's run free.
Yeah, I happen to agree with you. I hope you don't have to go through the pain I went through here a couple hours ago. Luckily, it was short and sweet type call, so we were only out there for about an hour.
Yeah.
But So tell us a little bit about Hadley Township, Michigan. Actually, before we jump to that, tell us a little bit about you, Chief. How long you've been with the department, and give us a little insight.
I've been around the fire service my whole life. My dad was a firefighter. He was a fire chief growing up. I went off to college for 4 years. When I returned from Northern Michigan University, that was 1990, January of 1990. I joined the department, and I've been here ever since. I was luckily enough to work alongside my dad until he retired in 2000. That's about the time I became assistant chief. And then 2005, I became chief. So I've been stuck in that position ever since. So,
well, Kurt, we've got that thing in common about being able to have the opportunity to work with our fathers who are both chiefs and both instrumental in the fire service. And over the years, it's been a great experience for me. I'm sure it is for you as well. And thanks for joining us again here on the jump seat. So. What about Hadley Township? Tell us where it is. What do you know about it?
Hadley Township is in Michigan, Lapeer County, Michigan. We're 45 minutes straight north of Detroit and about 25 minutes east of Flint. So we border Oakland County to the north, and we border Genesee County to the east. We're right in the bottom corner of Lapeer County.
Wow. What's kind of your, so with your department and all that, what percent of the time are you guys drafting versus hydrant areas? What's kind of your system look like there?
We have 36 square miles of no hydrants.
Okay.
Lots of lakes. I have 2 all sports lakes, lots of other lakes, ponds, rolling hills, woods. I have 2 state parks, about 5,400 acres of state rec area. So
wow.
Everything's drafting, mutual aid, tanker shuttles, that type of thing.
So the water comes on wheels.
It does.
Or there's no water.
Never closer.
Yeah.
I totally can relate to that. And, it's a good thing to have those mutual aid companies ready to come help you on those situations as well. How many calls a year are you guys doing at Hadley?
It's a low year. This year we ran 230. We've been running about 260 to 80 runs a year. We run medicals, so the majority of those are medicals, false alarms, that type of thing. Lots of wires down.
Sure.
A few structure fires here and there. In my county, it's automatic mutual aid on any structure fire, so the next closest department will respond on first tones, along with us going somewhere else on the first tone. So,
what are some of the, as far as like some of the younger members join? Are you guys able to reach the younger guys, or do you feel like you're, kind of behind the 8 ball? I know the volunteer fire service in general, you look at statistics, it's a challenge. It really is. And so I know locally where I'm at, I could relate. What about for you guys? Has recruitment been challenging the last 5 to 10 years?
It has, due to the fact that it's hard to live in Hadley. The cost of living's higher. Younger people usually can't afford a starter home. Luckily, we do have a bunch of, this is the first time I can remember that we've had the amount of new firefighters that are under 25. I think we have 5 or 6 now. So most of them are firefighter kids. So
yeah, hey, that's good.
Well, how many people do you have on the department as a whole right now? So you got this younger group, 5 or 6. What's the total membership there?
The membership, we have split. We have first responders, we have firefighters, and then we have cross-trained individuals. So we're around 20. I think we're carrying about 26 personnel right now. We like to carry 30. Firefighters, we're around 20 right now. I got three at Fire Academy right now. So
great.
That's great. Well, good luck to those young guys at the academy, as well as some of the younger guys that just joined your department to take on the challenge of taking care of the community. It's always a great thing. And so, is Hadley a completely volunteer department, or is there are you guys paid? A combination? How's that working for you guys?
All volunteer, pay per call.
Pay per call.
Yep.
Great. So tell us, so behind you there, is it a poster or is that like a real truck? I can't tell. It looks so shiny.
I had my guys load brand new hose last night, and
Yeah.
everybody's going to think this truck's never run out on a run. It runs.
Well, tell us a little bit about your fleet. What do you got there?
To get to that point, it all started. Our fleet is based upon 1976. That's our first custom built truck, front mount pump, Darley International. And from there on, we've custom built every truck since then. So it all started around the front mount pump. Then we added a 1981 tanker that had a front mount pump on it. We added a 93 pumper with a front mount pump, nice Darley Freightliner. Then, of course, NFPA came in and, said, you're not going to build front mount pumps anymore for the fire service. So we ended up going 2000. We got a midship tanker, 3,500 gallon tanker. It's nice. We still have that. We got a 2004 rescue pumper. And with that, we really wanted to get back to that, the front mount experience. So we ordered a rear mount pump. And it really didn't cover what we wanted to achieve. Putting our pump operator, where it can see the scene. It seemed that every time we had a structure fire, the pump operator was always on the wrong side of the truck. So we started speccing in about 2018. My guys started getting together and speccing a truck like the one we have now. And we wanted to get that mentality of the front mount pump without actually getting the front mount pump. So we went to FDIC in 2018, and we basically went around to all the manufacturers, told them what we wanted. What we wanted was a midship, but we wanted identical panels on both sides, passenger and driver side. So we wanted to be able to have the same pump twice. So Spencer Manufacturing ended up being the only manufacturer that said, yeah, we could do that. I'm sure they probably scratched their head and said, how are we going to do that? But they did. They got with Hale. They figured it out. We ended up getting a QMax pump that was altered, and it was going to be, either side of the truck, you can run it. Where Sam came in, Sam wasn't even a solution at that point. What happened is during the construction of the Hale pump, this was pre-FDIC in 2019, and I think Sam was really looking for a department, not a Hadley Township. I'm probably sure they were looking for New York, LA, that type of department that would take a chance on the Sam system. Probably to get out there, notoriety, that type of thing. They had the St. Louis refurb truck, but I think they wanted something really, that would speak volumes for them. And they went down the list. There was time constraints due to the FDIC show, and they needed decision makers. We need a decision in like 2 weeks' time. So Spencer basically, Grant called me up and said, hey, we got this system. You want to try it? So we took a look at it, and we were able to say, yeah, we'll do it. So that's kind of how that truck came about. I think what the endearing thing is they were able to look in their catalog of trucks being built, the Hale pumps, and I think ours stuck out. I think we were the only department in the country that was building a QMax pump that had controls on both sides, discharge, intakes, the whole 9 yards. So that's how we arrived at our Sam truck. So they built it. We took delivery in July of 2019. So we've had it ever since.
Yeah. So actually, for those of you watching that were actually at the 2019 FDIC, that Sam module that you see behind you was actually the one that was in our booth flowing water, literally on the show floor. And I don't know if you remember, Kurt, that was actually the first opportunity you and I had a chance to meet, and actually the rest of the crew at Hadley right there as you guys came up to check out your future SAM system. So It was quite impressive, and it's been a great experience to get to know you further since then. So,
and a quick little blurb, I wanted to shout out to Spencer Manufacturing. We did a tour with them, episode 5 of this. So if anybody wants to check out their trucks and their kind of a quick tour, virtual tour that is, check out number 5. It's available on YouTube or on Facebook if you look back a ways. So
yeah,
just
and
thought I'd throw it
Grant,
out. Thanks, Grant, and everybody did a great job there in May or June or whenever that was. It was last summer. So
yeah, shout out to all those guys at Spencer. They do a great job, really with fit and finish. Build a really nice truck, and I think you'll probably be able to speak more to that, Kurt. But hey, when you look at Sam now, you've had this truck in service well over a year. We're on our year and a half right now, approaching 2 years here really quickly. And except for that nice, beautiful, clean, brand new hose you just put on it there, it's been on several different runs. So how Sam really benefited you and your fire department?
It's everything that the sales guys pitch and more. We're discovering things that I don't think Sam was even aware of. We'll discuss that in a minute. But the immediate things about it is, in fact, my captain said he felt like the horse watching the first automobile go by using it.
That's a great analogy.
You can take a kid. It's a video game. You could take a kid off the street and they can run the fire pump. You spend a lot of time with these recruits and you show them a pump panel and they get that, deer staring the headlights look on their face. With this, it's like, step aside here. This is what you do. It's very user-friendly. When you you park your vehicle, you put the brakes on, you engage the pump, you have water to the pump already. It's already circulating. You don't have to do any fudging around with controls, levers, switches. The water's already rotating, and you're not going to burn your pump up. You get to your screen, you can immediately flow water with your pre-connects, just a swipe. With the SAM system, you're not going to make mistakes. It always asks you, hey, do you want to charge this line? Yes. Do you want to raise the pressure? Yes. Always gives you confirmation. I
was going to ask too on that. So you guys, for those watching, Sam does have a lot of customizability, correct? Kurt, what are some of the things you guys took from, you took home and made it your own within the presets and all that? Tell us a little bit about how you set those up to work for your district in your town.
What's great about it is you can, on each individual line, each preset, not just the presets, but every single intake and discharge, what you can do is you can set the minimum pressure, you can set a maximum pressure. So on my LDH discharge, I think we set it won't go over, 85 PSI on LDH. So you have those pre-pressurized settings too. So you're not going to over-pressurize your LDH, just custom stuff like that. You get to rename everything. I think I was talking to David about, I think it came passenger side or driver side and officer side. Well, at 3 a.m, our guys aren't officer side, driver side. It's like driver and passenger side. It was easy to figure out which side your discharge is on. Everything's color coded. I think we have 8 different discharges on here. So we have red, white, and blue pre-connects. We have an orange pre-connect off the front bumper. They're labeled red line, white line, blue line, brown. Such we have we were able to take one of the colors out and put master stream. So everything's totally customizable. You can, like I said, name it in the convention that works for your department.
Had a comment come in from Jared saying, "Is that my I4G display on the pump panel?"
Unfortunately, Jared, I do know Jared, and it isn't. It happens to not be, but that's some of the newest technology in there. I worked with Jared back at Weldon here several years ago. Thanks for joining in, Jared. But that's some of the latest and coolest technology. Chief, when you think about Sam, you mentioned one of the things you wanted was the pump panel on both sides too, right?
Yep.
And so I know behind us we can see the big Sam control screen there, but you've got a couple unique things. Not only do you have the one behind you, but that is duplicated on the other side of the truck. And what else is there though too? Looks like there's something.
Can you hear me?
Yep,
Okay.
we got you.
So we have the class 1, foam controls. We have the Sam, and I'd love to turn it on to show everything, but obviously we tried that and it was too loud. Even though the Spencer truck is the quietest truck I've ever been around. I've never been around a quieter truck than this Spartan chassis. So you have the diagnostics control switch, which you can toggle your tank fill, your pump info, engine data, that type of thing. The great thing about Sam, as advertised, is when you go to a draft situation and you've already leached off the tank. That's one of my warnings here. There we go. Sorry about that.
You got to put some def in that truck. Is that right?
No, it's got a weird picture thing going here. Not quite sure what's going on. There. So we got those screens, and then we got the tablet. We invested in the tablet, and that thing is the best investment of all time. I can walk away.
Is now a good time to show that video from the drone?
Yeah.
I'll get that going kind of while we talk here. You keep telling the story here. I'm going to add in a little visual while he talks here.
Yeah, I'll go to the other side.
So this was an incident. I'll let you tell the story. This is an incident you guys ran with your truck shortly after delivery, correct?
Yep. It's actually an assist to our neighboring township.
Okay. So these are some other, looks like some tankers. Okay, there's your rig right there, I think. Yep. Okay.
And that white helmet, that's you, right, Kurt?
It's me.
So you're running your tablet there, correct?
Yep.
Got a good question here from Anthony I'm going to hit on. So he's asking, since it's sub-zero in our areas, how do the displays do basically in the extreme cold? So great question. We get it all the time because that's a real thing. This stuff's made for the environments we work in, to put it lightly. We've tested these down to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. They also have built-in heaters that kick on inside the screen. With that screen running, it generates heat, which is designed to also melt like if you had a freezing mist, it would allow you to not freeze up that display. So anyway,
Kurt,
great question.
Maybe you can even add to that, Kurt, from your experience. How is it done in the cold weather? I know Michigan gets to be that frigid tundra-like cold there as well.
Yeah, we've experienced no issues. In fact, they warned us. They said, hey, if your screen gets really hot to the touch, it's doing its job. And it's taking out any possible condensation, that type of thing. We haven't experienced that yet with the hot screen or anything like that. It just works great. This is passenger side.
So we've got the two controls on both sides as well as that tablet. So really, you can control this anywhere. And I mean, for those of you who are watching here for the first time, haven't seen Sam or getting experience with Sam, the cool thing with Sam as a whole is the fact that you can actually put the pump operator in a safe operating zone. They don't have to be sitting there on the driver's side of the rig running a side mount panel and standing in the middle of the road. You can now move them to the passenger side on the curb side of the structure where they have better visibility of the incident as a whole, as well as having the ability to go completely portable. And if you saw at the end of that video, as we were shown there, Kurt was literally standing up at the barn fire that he was on there, running and operating the truck at a distance. So, it's a great piece there. And obviously there's the tablet itself as well. And, I'm going to, right here, you got a good shot of that, John, in that video. Kurt, while we got you on here too, I know every good chief has got a real chief behind them. And so I'm going to give a shout out to Valerie right now, who I know is operating that camera for you and doing a great job of it. So Valerie, thank you for your help today and for keeping Kurt looking good for all the 16 years he's been chief and for all those in the future as well. So
for having us.
So Kurt, when you look at the SAM opportunity, what would you tell other folks who are watching today about the benefits of SAM and how it's truly impacted your department?
It made, well, for morale, it really jumped the morale up the chart. You try to do things, of course, new trucks do that. But I think people that have been around, 25, 30 years on the department got really excited. And we've discovered lots of things that this truck can do that was never advertised. Of course, we pass that along to IDEX as well in, things they may want to consider too. But one of the things is that I think we talked about this the other day. You can teach about pump efficiency, and you have diagnostics that are right in front of you, right in front of your face, where when you go to draft and you pull that vacuum, you pull the vacuum and you get the draft just like any normal scene, and you take the hose lines off and you open up lines and you're drafting and you're pumping and you're filling your tank and that type of thing. Well, then the guy opens up another line and loses or cavitates the pump. It was just too much. And then they go, well, we can't run 4 lines. We can run 3 lines. Well, with the SAM system, you know exactly what's going to happen. You can tell whether you can open up a line, readjust other lines to accommodate that. Your negative vacuum numbers right there in front of your face. So we now can run our truck really efficiently, and we can make decisions of whether to, add another line or take down a line, that type of thing. When adding another line and you think you're going to tax your pump, you can readjust other lines without them really knowing, backing down pressures a little here and there. So you have that kind of in your toolbox.
Yeah. Quick question here came in from Brent. He asked, our department is considering this system on our new rescue pumper. Have there been any technical issues? Also, how is it received by your old school pump operators? So the first part of that, I'll let you also answer these questions. As we all know, trucks, from the moment you turn a master battery switch to you pull out on the front apron, every time you buy a new apparatus, it probably has more electronics in it than the previous. Some of those are things we can control, and some of those are things we can't control as the fire market, right? Some of them are emissions related or diesel engine related, so on and so forth. I would say, outside of some of the new things that new trucks have, sometimes there's kinks or little bugs you got to work out. We built SAM to utilize existing components as much as possible so that they weren't all that new after all. Everything touching water is almost as old as I am, which is a good thing. Also, for the sake of serviceability and maintenance, we want what the shops carry in our local areas to have parts so that when and if something is to happen, it can be accessed easily, right? So I hope I'm answering that for you, Brent. And as far as technical issues, there was a lot of testing. SAM pumped over 1,000 fires before IDEX even touched it. I would encourage anybody to check out some of the other episodes about SAM as well, because there's a lot of questions, right? There's a lot going on, and that's fine. We've been through a lot of those for years, and our job is to educate the marketplace on, first of all, what it is. Before you see what it does, understand what it is and how it can be integrated, like in your case, Chief. So would you add anything to that question, Chief, on how it was received by some of the old school pump operators?
I'd even say, as well as your experience from a technical perspective, have you had any issues, and how were they addressed, or really it's been smooth sailing?
It's been pretty smooth sailing. It's odd because the electronics, the sensors off the front bumper draft, the conditions have to be right. You just have to have it drained, because it'll trick electronics. If you have water in the pipe, it says it has a draft, but it doesn't. We've worked that out. It takes literally about 1 second to draft off the sides. You can open up, and I think it's more on the QMax pump than necessarily the SAM, but we can get a draft in like 1 second off the sides. It's the front pumper that you have to, you have to play around with it to get the draft immediately off the front bumper. So that's
well, if you think about it, you got a lot of air in that front bumper between the pump and that distance. You're looking total length of that cab somewhere in the 10, 12 foot range of 5-inch or 4-inch hose, or piping, whatever you have there to clear out and evacuate. But that usually leads a little bit to it. But I understand your piece too, that they're tricking it a little bit because it looks for it fills the tube up first potentially. So.
Yep, we found a lot of tweaking that we can do. Well, you can do manual tweaking while it's in the SAM mode, and you can flip-flop back and forth to manual mode and SAM mode. And what a lot of the people that we've had at incidents, you go to an assist, you'll always get somebody from the other department that walking up, they want to see the system, and their first reaction is, well, what if it fails? And then you got to explain that, this screen right here is totally independent of the passenger side screen. And I ask them, what's your pump? Is it manual? Is it electronic? And they're like, well, we got an electric pump. And I go, so do we. That's what it is, an electric pump, and it's being powered by, the SAM system. So, there's fail safes. When Spencer had it UL tested, of course, they tested it in the manual position because that's how they certified it. So you can toggle back and forth into manual or SAM. So you have a lot of opportunities to work with both, but you can achieve lots of things that you probably can't on any other apparatus without it. So
how is the quote unquote older guys adopted then?
That they're the ones that love it the most.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Love it. It's amazing. You know how you got guys inside, and with the electronic sensors on the newer pump panels, in fact, this is on our 2004, it's hard to gain that draft and keep flowing water with your hand lines.
That transition is a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an art. It's always been an art for that. And the engineers that run trucks, they're artists. And this takes that completely out. You just simply swipe with a finger, you pull the draft, and everything does it. There's nothing, no tweaking. Your guys still have water. It's pulling water.
Mike Ivory just commented, I can even run it. So, Mike.
Yeah.
The other fun thing too is obviously, Chief, you can't see all the comments coming in, and but Miss Valerie is a rock star because I'm getting it like from Peter Ivory that says, "Go Val" with an X's and O's coming at you. Mike Ivory said, "Great job to you, Val." So I think she may have actually silently stole the show. I'm just gonna say.
I'm going to go back to Brent's comment as well one more time and just say, Brent, if you want to talk to there are other Kurts out there as well too. I don't know where you're at in the country, but the neat part about this is there are more users every week at this point. So I would say, please let us know, and we can get you in touch with really someone in your area or someone close by that's run this for a while, because the way you do it in Michigan might different from the way you do it in Missouri, which there's a lot of these there, or Illinois, right? So let us know, Brent, if you need to talk to anybody else or one of your regional guys. I'm not sure where you're at, but we can do, whatever you need to help you understand it. Our job is to inform and educate, and the rest, kind of comes naturally. But let us know how we can help you there.
So, Chief, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your afternoon here and joining us in the jump seat. It's been great to have you. It's been great to learn a little bit about Hadley Township. It's been great to take a peek at your truck, which is an awesome vehicle there. Hey, we just had a question come right back in. So how many lines can you have going at one time? And if you need to switch water sources from draft to hydrant, is there a flow rate reduction?
there is no flow rate. Well, I shouldn't say no. It's very minimal. You'll feel it for maybe a second, not even a second. We did test that. We did flow about, our pump is rated at 1,500 gallons a minute. We were probably flowing about 1,800 gallons a minute. This is when we discovered we can, tweak our and run our pump more efficiently, via the gauges we have, the digital readouts. And we had a master stream, and we had 3 hand lines going at the same time. We were flowing probably about 1,800 gallons a minute. And yes, we could, as long as the water supply kept dumping, yes, we could probably add another line. We were at minus, I think we were at minus 12, something like that, with the efficiency of the pump. And we could have probably opened up another line, a 5th line.
Yeah, so your minus 12 was on the intake gauge, 12 millimeters of mercury, out of the 25 available, but or 24 available. But
yeah, real quick too, when you saw the preset, I'm talking to Frank's question. When you saw the presets on the screen, usually we put 4 of those across the bottom. Those are your lines you pull every fire, or 90% of the fires. Now, obviously, we have more lines on our truck than 4 usually. We could fill up to 12 if you needed to. Now, that's crazy, right? Can't think of the last time we did that, but you could, right? So hope that answers your question, Frank. Good question.
Yeah, what others don't understand about it, the SAM system, is we can have 4 lines out, but I can have a line out at 35 PSI. I can have a line out at 65 PSI. I can have one out at 170, another at 130, and they don't drop off more than a few, 5 pounds max as a drop off. And it's basically instantaneous. It's about a second when you're switching from draft.
And then with what you're saying, if you shut one of those bales, all that excess pressure I'll let you answer, within a second is going to be reduced. You're not going to get those spikes either.
Correct. No spike. You haven't experienced any shutdown spikes or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just for my correction too, by the way, on the vacuum side, 28 millimeters of mercury is typically the highest you can go in total, but you typically won't see that in most fire drafting scenarios there as well. That's a perfect world at sea level.
Our experience here is if you hit minus 23, that's when you're going to lose your draft.
23 for you guys in Michigan there. So, elevation does have an impact no matter where you are around the world. And so great to know that, Kurt.
And good questions from Frank and Brent. Brent said he got to see a demo earlier in the week. Brent, I appreciate you letting us know that. And for anybody else watching, let us know how we can come do a demo if we're in your areas or whatever.
So Brent, if I'm guessing right, Brent's got to be in that New Jersey area, because I know our SAM demo truck is back on the road here a little bit, and I think they were out in the greater New Jersey area here currently. I think they're heading towards Delaware and maybe even the Baltimore area next week. But Brent, thank you very much for your comments. Hey, by the way, the other piece Frank had asked is how many lines can you have going at one time? Hey, this is actually like any other pumper, so it really depends on how many discharges you actually have on the truck. SAM, by the way, just FYI, has 4 key presets available on the discharge side of things, but you still have the ability to open and close every discharge, every valve on the truck like you would on your engine sitting in your station right now. So, man, they're coming in here left and right. This came from Molly Keela. We may have covered this already, but how is this system when you're pushing water to other rigs like a tower ladder or an engine? So kind of that relay pumping type atmosphere, Chief. How's it work for you? Have you used it as such?
We have pushed water to other departments. Air free, perfect. We have a better control on the pressures, obviously. Than conventional pumps, because when they take it down 5, they might mean take it down 12, but we can take it down exactly 12 or exactly 5. So that's nice. As long as we have a water supply, we could definitely supply an aerial or that type of operation. Like I said, we know we can get 1,800 gallons a minute out of our 1,500 gallon a minute pump. One of the other things that we learned is we've never used our pumper in a tanker shuttle. And because of SAM, when you pull, we have 1,800 gallons on this apparatus. So now, instead of visiting the other neighboring department with, with our 3,500 gallon tanker, now we have 1,800 additional gallons to provide if they don't need the pumper. So that's kind of nice. And another thing is we went on an assist where tankers had to back in and dump. While we were able to pull our vehicle in, lay some LDH to the porta tank. And because I had a tablet in hand, you'd have a tanker, it'd back in quite a ways, it would dump, and then it would go out. And the time it took for another tanker to back in and dump, I was able to stand with that tablet in hand and basically nurse fill that porta tank while the next department, instead of I've eliminated the radio operation from the porta tank back to the engine to open and close valves.
That's a great point. I mean, you were sitting right there at the source. You knew when the water was needed, could kick it open and help to make sure it was topped off till the tanker could get in the dump as well.
Yep, I'm 200 feet away, not even looking at the truck, and I can open and close valves and nurse that porta tank.
Wow.
And that's what SAM's about, right? So SAM is about, one, enhancing fireground safety as a whole, getting the pump operators in those safe locations, and then also, allowing you as a pump operator to be where you need to be to see the rest of your crew and to help them be effective as possible. I think it's a great piece there. And we just had another question come in. Does your tanker have CAFS capability? Sorry, they came in late here. You may have answered this, but I'll let you answer that, Chief, for John here.
No, we don't. We have a foam system on, but not CAF system.
Yeah, so I think it's just a smart foam system on there. So Class A, just Class A, or?
Yep, just Class A.
Yeah, so standard Class A foam system on this specific rig. But hey, you can actually integrate CAFs into SAM. So there's actually some trucks I know one for sure in the greater St. Louis area that is running.
So.
Where was that at, John?
Oh, I was just echoing it. Yeah, there's a few in that region. So yeah, good question.
CAFs with SAMs. Yeah, absolutely.
Kurt, you got quite the audience asking questions. You're doing a good job. Appreciate you staying on and answering some of these for everybody. I do know that we do need to get going here. I'm sure we all have things to do. I put your email there, though, for everybody to, if they think of other things to ask you. We sure appreciate you coming on the show today, and you've done a great job of explaining how you guys use it locally, and it can be used a lot of different ways. In your setting, similar to mine, it's a rural setting. You don't always know how many guys are going to show up at the station, and in your case, this has helped get you guys over the hump of some of those known challenges of a department in a rural setting, just like a lot of America. So very, very exciting, very neat stuff.
Before we completely jump off with you, on behalf of John and myself, as well as the rest of us at IDEX Fire and Safety, we actually met with Chief Nass yesterday to kind of prepare a little bit for today's show. And I know Wednesday night was a tough night for you guys. And I don't want to go into the details of the run specifically, but a former member of the Hadley Township Fire Department, I believe his name is Mr. Bob Allen, who had been, I believe, with the fire department for over 50 years before he retired, passed away unexpectedly. So on behalf of all of us, our condolences to the whole family at Hadley Township Fire, because we know how that can impact everybody. But keep your guys' chins up. You guys do a great job. And thank you to Mr. Allen for his years of service to Michigan and to the Hadley Township community, and really our condolences to you all as well. With that being said, I just want to say thanks again. It's been great having you here, Chief, and we look forward to the next time having you in the jump seat here again soon. So with that, we'll let you duck out, but don't leave. We'll be right back to you for John and I personally after here. But thank you very much to Chief Kurt Nass and the folks at Hadley for sharing a little bit more about their department here today. John, as we kind of shift gears here quick to wrap up for next week, we got another great show lined up and in action. And so next week's topic and actually speaker actually came as a recommendation from you, our viewers. And so we love to hear from you guys. If there's anything you want to share with John or myself, feel free to reach out to us. We love hearing that. Our emails are actually right down here at the bottom, jmartins@idexcorp.com or David Durst or D Durstein at idexcorp.com. But give us what you guys want to see on the show. So next week we have Tiger Schmittendorf, who is really known for recruitment and retention in the Firehouse. And so he's going to come on, and our show is all going to be about the people. It's all about the people in our fire departments that make it all happen. And so Tiger's going to share some top tips for recruitment and retention in your Firehouse. You don't want to miss it. But like I said, it comes from you, our viewers, and your feedback on what you want to see. And we'll try to get those folks who are the experts to join us as such. So, John, that's all I got, man. How about you? Any last minute wrap up stuff?
No, I'm really looking forward to next week. It is true. It's not about tools and technology. It's about people. And that's what makes us go to work every day and respond with pride and passion. So I'm looking forward to next week. And thankful for Chief Nass to come on and be in the jump seat and the spotlight. We got some good questions today. So we'll see you all next Friday. Hope everyone stays safe and healthy. And if you think of anything else, please feel free to reach out to us. I'll put our emails back up for another few seconds there. If you think of other guests to have and to keep this place interesting, which we've done quite a bit of with different topics each week. So without further ado, we'll see you all next week. Everyone have a good weekend and stay well. Thank you.